So the S&P, we are in a downtrend, but we are breaking structure, internal structure, and we're coming up to test this potential failed lower high to make this a firm lower low, and the confirmation of this would be a break of these highs, and then indeed these highs over here. So we'll mark those up. Okay, so we've had a break of structure, we've got a swing structure up here, and let's see how that pans out. What's encouraging for the bullish prospect is that we've had, this is last week's low, this orange dotted line. So we've broken that, right? So that was a push all the way down into here. So we can consolidate this move as all one push, below, staying below for another push. So in fact, I mean, we've had about 4 pushes. So I mean, you can say this is a push. We've come up, failed, pushed again, pushed yet again. So you've got a number of pushes to the downside here, and we're failing to, so far. If we get a break of this structure here, then that would be encouraging. That doesn't stand for what you think it does. That is Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So we've got Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. We're in the third day of that new 3-day cycle, the second half of the week. We're day 2 of the 3-day cycle, because that was day 3 of the 3-day cycle, which started when we failed up high. So we failed, that breakout failed. We subsequently came back inside and closed lower than Monday. So that initial balance, all up here, we broke away from it. So day 1, day 2, this was day 3 of breakouts, as well as breakouts, but just within the 3-day cycle of a failure up high. And then day 3 turns to day 1 by default. So we're day 2 of that 3-day cycle. So, so if this is day 1, then you might expect day 2 to continue to the upside. So if day 1 is starting out at the low of the week, then day 2 might be expected to move higher. So there's a number of confluences here for a push up. And you've got this gap target over here on the upside, and potential stops up above here, equal highs. So pretty nice thesis really for a move to the upside. But of course, all depends on non-farm payrolls. But that's where the money is, to the upside. Now, what would be nice is to see an attempt lower to catch the market low down for a very nice R, a nice reward for one risk for 7.5 R to the upside. That would be ideal, but obviously we just need to see how Asia and London plays out. Looks like we're trying to move up in Asia, up into the highs, finding some resistance so far. Pretty early days, but a correction into London. We'll see how that pans out. And then we move lower, catching the low, and move up in London, and then I'll move down in in New York or just ahead of New York, wherever it might turn out. But we're looking for the longs in the New York session. Again, all depends on the data, so there's nothing really that can be done early doors in New York. That's the thesis. So the Nasdaq. Interestingly, we broke out below this support, but failed, and we've moved back up inside of last week's range, breaking this bearish trend line, which would now be regarded as a counter bullish trend line. We broke structure in, well, actually over here. Okay, so this is on the verge of making fresh highs. W formation down low, double bottom. We've had 1, 2, 3 pushes below the last week's lows. So it's a nice candidate for a move up, similar to the S&P. Please mind the gap, target area, back up into the opening range. So that's nice, short and sweet. It would be good to see if we could get an entry within the origin of this breakout. This too was a breaking structure over here. So if we could get a move back in, that would be ideal. Stop below the lows, riding high. So all depends on how Asia and London starts to set up, but it does seem as though we are building a decent case for a move up. Didn't get a first green day. Close was actually below Wednesday's close, but only by a few pips. Now, if we pull out to a daily chart, so it would be quite typical to see a correction, given the impulse correction and then the prospects of a move down. Will we get all the way up there? Less likely. We can measure that on a Fibonacci. So to get all the way up there will be a 78.6 retracement, so not impossible. Could it happen in one day? Could do. 225 points ATR. So starting off down, where are we starting off? Too much junk on the chart, I can't see anything. Bear with me. Right, so I'm just measuring, I want to measure the prospects of a move up into a 78.6. The range on the day so far is down here. So we're looking for 370 odd pips, 350. The ATR is about 270. Takes us up to easily within reach of this 61.8 as a target on the upside. But we've got the gap up there. Will that get filled before the week is out? We don't know. But that gives us a nice break of structure for an impulse correction to roll over, and then we're looking for a move, deeper move in line with the break of structure in the daily chart for lower lows and out of this consolidation into these longs. all the in the money, low hanging fruit to the downside. And interestingly, when we go back and look at the weekly template, we've got the opening range where Monday and Tuesday, and we've had a pretty nice attempt. We've had one, two, so I'll mark these out. So we've had this drive out of the opening range. I'm not going to call that a drive. I'll say that was. So we had that there. Another attempt here. In fact, what I'll do is I'll say this was the drive, that was the drive, and then we've got another drive into the lows of the week over here. So if I have 3 drives out of the opening range, that's a perfect structure. Let's do it. It's perfect structure, PROS. I've said already. Okay. 1, 2, 3 drives into the lows out of the opening range of the week. Monday and Tuesday for prospects of a reversal on Friday. Again, we want to come in buying low to go up. So I've just marked those drives. 1 drive, 2 drives, 3rd drive, 3 days of breakouts. Put it over to the 3-day breakout section for a drive higher. Reversal pending. Right, so gold, similar scenario with the indexes, funny enough, considering how correlated they are. So we've got the first green day. We had the Thursday close bullish. We've got 3 drives into the low of the month, low of the week. We've got day 3 shorts in the market. Now, considering this was a first green day close, in the 3-day cycle, it's turned back to day 1 because here was day 3 of the 3-day cycle, the prior 3-day cycle, changing back to day 1. This was day 2, but because of the bullish close, this is now day 1, and tomorrow is day 2. Day 2 of the 3-day cycle, if this is indeed failing, then we'd expect this to continue higher. This is failing on the breakout to the downside. It's at support, so we're in anticipation of a move up. Okay. So again, we're looking to buy low. So we've got this doji. We're looking for an engulfment on Friday to move higher up into last week's lows and beyond. Potential for a retest up here. Now if we pull the Fibonacci up, that ties up with a 61.8. The daily ATR is about $20. Taking us within the realms of the 61.8. Right then, with the Euro, same scenario, first green day. So this was day one of the 3-day cycle. This is day two, the 3-day cycle. Three pushes into the below the last week's lows. Uh, Tinkering on the edge of a break of structure. We've already had the internal break of structure, breaking the prior trendline resistance. So this is a bullish counter trendline support. So we are now looking for longs down low. We'd like to see pushes into the low. A case for a move into the lower end of the origin of that break of structure. Somewhere down in here. Stop one of the lows for a move right up into the start of the week's opening range, targeting stops. Looking into the daily chart. We can measure the bearish impulse, targeting 78.6. And the way up. Okay, so that is some of the watch list done for the day ahead, Friday. And I'll continue with the rest live with you guys at around about the New York Open, and we'll see how things have developed. Got a number of all the currencies basically to get through. Yeah, so we'll carry on with this in the morning. I need to go and get some shut eye. Believe it or not, I do actually sleep from time to time. Okay, guys, have a good one, and see you in the New York session.